Welcome to 12-Minute Talks, where important information is shared in a short time period. Learn from other business owners, entrepreneurs, and experts about what they do to help you find solutions to everyday topics in 12 minutes or less. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the 12-Minute Talks podcast. I'm excited to have with us today Petagay Letren. She's the co-author of 7 Ways to Get Through the Day. It's a book to help people get through difficult and hard times, especially with grief. Petagay, thank you so much for being on today.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Yeah, so this is, an interesting subject to talk about because I think it's something that everybody goes through at some point in their life, right? And a lot of times might not have the tools to be prepared, right? At least emotionally, right?
Yeah.
Um, so, Petagay, why don't you tell us a little bit about maybe what inspired you to co-author this book?
Um, what inspired me to co-author the book is Jamel. So the book was essentially his idea. He is the person that helped me process my grief. And through a series of conversations and little reminders, he helped me to see that I could be sad and happy at the same time, if that makes sense. So, for example, you could be happy that you got a new job and sad because it's not paying as much as you really want, right? Um, so, Jamel really is the inspiration behind the book, as well as the lessons that I learned when I was willing to explore the depths of my feelings surrounding my own losses. And my losses were pregnancy losses.
Okay, I see. Yeah, that must be very tough to go through that. And yeah, I agree. You can be sad and happy at the same time, right? And is Janelle a friend, a relative?
Jamel is a friend. Jamel was the person who taught me how to play chess when I was in college many moons ago. So he was my chess coach, and he's what I say is a strategic thinker. So he's a thinker. That's
Okay.
Jamel.
Yeah, nice, nice. Um, and so, Petagay, why don't you tell us a little bit more about the book? Is it a really long read, or what are some things people are going to get out of reading this book?
So out of reading the book, you'll get what the 7 ways are. You will get our stories, what we went through, why we feel like we're qualified to even suggest these ways because they're ways that we employed. Some of the ways are things like love, gratitude, making yourself a priority, laughter. Um, so while they're the kinds of things that can help you through whatever kind of difficulty you're experiencing, they're also the kinds of things that you can use to to make really, really small incremental shifts that over a period of time can be meaningful and very impactful.
Yeah, that's awesome because a lot of times I feel sometimes people think that grief is like something from one day to the next, like snap out of it, or like, okay, it's been a long time, right? You should be feeling better, right? So is this something that the book addresses as well?
No, because one of the things that we want to do is allow people to feel what they feel and have their own process. We are not psychologists or psychiatrists who are going to talk to you about the theoretical aspects of grief. It's really just these 7 ways that we seek to explain from our perspective. So we explain, for example, what it means to make yourself a priority. And making yourself a priority doesn't mean that you neglect the children, you take 2 days a week off from work. It may mean that you just sit in the car and take 3 deep breaths before you go inside the house. Something really, really small, a really small shift, right?
Right.
Um, so that's a kind of an example. So what you really get is a short, but what we feel thorough explanation of the 7 ways, and we share our stories and why it was important for us to use these 7 ways.
Okay. Yeah, that's great. And 7 ways seem to be manageable, and maybe, if they don't like one way, they can pick one of the other 6 ways, right?
Exactly.
That are suggested in the book. And yeah, I think that's interesting what you said. It could be, just taking 3 deep breaths in the car or something like that. A lot of times people think like putting yourself first means you need to take an hour out of your day. Maybe you don't have an hour, right? If you have kids or something like that, but maybe you could take 2 minutes to do something that you enjoy or that gets your mind out of whatever you've been going through, right? Um, and I think this is an interesting topic nowadays between everything going on in the world. A lot of people, I think, might be experiencing grief in a different way. Not, like we usually think of grief as like losing a friend or a family member, right? Like when they pass away. But I think it can also relate to like the changes going on now. The way of living that that we used to have. Would you say?
Well, exactly. I think people are grieving the shift of a paradigm. People are grieving the loss of employment as a result of COVID. Some people have had to relocate and they're grieving the loss of a home or life as they knew it. Um, some people are adjusting to having their children at home and their lives being different. And these are all losses. They're different kinds of losses and different types of losses, but who feels it knows it, right? So who is somebody else to tell you whether or not that should or should not be meaningful or impactful to you? So I think, yes, we're all dealing with grief right now in different ways.
Definitely. And it's great to have a book like yours, 7 ways to get through the day, to help maybe guide some people towards looking towards a better future or better ways to manage that. So, Petagay, how can somebody reach out to you to get more information about getting the book?
Well, the book can be purchased at the number 7ways, WAYS .space, SPACE. And there, if you want to contact us, you can send us an email at 7ways2020@gmail.com. So again, the web address is the number 7, WAYS .space, SPACE.
Fantastic. And like always, we'll have all of the links down below so you guys can easily click and get more information about this book. And I just wanted to quickly introduce myself for those of you that don't know who I am. My name's Lorena Tomasini, and I'm the owner of Mom Life and Health Insurance Agency, where together with my mom, we help people with their financial protection needs from life insurance, health insurance, all done digitally. I think it's interesting because what you're talking about is like emotional relief, and what I provide is financial relief for a lot of people. No, um, so Petagay, for your last question here, what would you say is a good productivity tip with everything going on nowadays?
Laughter. So I always say to find a way to laugh. I think that laughter is a way that we can let the light in, right? It's a way that if you're really laughing, you start shaking and you're clapping your hands and you sort of let go. And I just feel like in that vibration and that energy, we're letting in more positive energy. So if you can YouTube comedy, Google jokes, you have that one friend that loves to tell jokes that you never really laugh at, but they are always having a good time laughing. Just whatever way you can to laugh.
Yeah, definitely great advice. Instead of watching like drama or like those murder shows on Netflix, you can put some comedy. you know, we have enough weird stuff going on nowadays. Um, Petagay, it's been great having you on today. Is there anything else you would like to add?
Well, I really just want to say thank you for this opportunity. I really appreciate it. And I'm grateful. And I look forward to being in communication with you again soon. So thanks.
Awesome. I think it's been great information about dealing with grief. And thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Gracias por escuchar a este podcast y espero que escuche el próximo episodio. Yo soy Lorena Tomasini y se puede comunicar conmigo vía email life@malmins.com. Tenga un día exitoso.